Welcome to this video. Thank you for doing it. And let's start with introducing yourself, not just with name, but how long you've been in Toastmasters. What was your main goal joining Toastmasters?
Certainly. Thank you, Regina. Chris Foster. I'm currently the president of No Ka Oi Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters originally back when I was living in South Carolina 6 or 7 years ago, and I was a member there for about 2 years. And I joined because they would have original meetings where they would put on a good show. They would have a speaker show up, a great speaker, and he would give a great speech. They'd have evaluation and kind of give you a taste of what Toastmasters is. And I loved it. Obviously, they had a really good speaker come up. I know I could never match what he was doing, but I thought, man, I would like to be a better speaker. I would like to show up and to be able to speak and not have a bunch of ums and ahs, and to be able to focus my speech. And I joined there, and it really helped me. But I also found out I met some really, really good people. So people I enjoyed being around, people that were usually focused on trying to improve themselves, almost always nice people. So when I moved to Maui, I looked around for a club, and eventually I found one, No Ka Oi, which I enjoyed. And I've been a member here for about 2 years. And I mostly joined for the people here because I knew I was going to meet good, interesting people that I would enjoy being around, and that's very much been the case.
Since you are here already for 2 years, that means you've been enjoying.
Yes, very much. I enjoy it. Obviously, you've stepped up to help take an officer's role. COVID's been very interesting because we've had to meet online. We're only meeting on Zoom now, and that's been an interesting scenario that I think has done a lot of really good things for the club, but also given us some issues to work through. So it's good, but it's a little challenging.
What was your initial thoughts at the beginning when we all learned that we're going to be on Zoom, and how it played out? Is it working out better than you thought, Zoom, or not?
When we first started, I was worried because we'd always been in person. Toastmasters has always been focused on being in person. And I was worried when we first did this. The first time I set up a Zoom meeting, I wondered, is anybody going to show up? Am I just going to sit here all alone on the Zoom call? And that was the thing I worried about. But then I had it, and a bunch of people showed up, and we learned. Meeting in Zoom is different than being in person. And we tried things, and we made our mistakes, and we learned, and we got better. And we had a lot of fun. And at first, it was just all of us that were already members of No Ka Oi showing up. But then we started having people from New York, from Germany, from Alabama, today from New Zealand. People from all over the world would show up to our No Ka Oi Toastmasters meeting, and they would add to it, and they would have interesting things. And I started to think maybe I should go to other clubs. And that's one of the great things about Zoom, is the fact that you can travel all over the world and attend meetings everywhere. And as far as the challenges, you are standing just in front of a screen talking. So when you're in person, you can walk to the right, you can walk to the left, you can have props, you can do all sorts of stuff to engage with the people. Whereas here, you're talking to a screen. When I give a speech, you have 10 or 12 or whatever little photos of people in front of you. It's hard to listen to the sound. So when you're trying to tell a joke, you don't always feel the same natural feedback that you had before. So that's the thing you have to work through, is to understand the limitations of Zoom exist, but they can be worked through. We've had some members that absolutely love it because we're a lunchtime club. So a lot of people maybe can't take off at 11:30 to be at us at noon, to stay till 1, to get back to work at 1:30. But they could tune in, they could turn on the computer and take a lunch break, come in right at noon, leave at 1, and it fits within their lunch hour. So I think that's another great thing about Zoom.
Now, when you prepare speeches, would you say because I know you've given some speeches, do you think of different things? When you prepare, what you need to pay attention to or not when you give the speech on Zoom versus in person? Do you feel more nervous or not, or how is that for you?
You definitely focus on different things. It's a little hard. One thing that's easier is I can have a few notes in front of me when I'm speaking in front of Zoom and have that beside my computer and be pretty innocuous. Whereas in person, I would never want to have notes with me, because you have a note paper when you're standing in front of you talking to people. It's distracting, and it's distracting to you, but to have a note or two written, not a whole speech, but just a couple of notes written to the side. So I feel a lot more comfortable pushing myself a little more, because I know I can have a note or two to the side to be ready for meeting on Zoom. Whereas when I would meet in person, I focused very much on making sure I didn't memorize everything, but at least the main points I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. One thing that is interesting about you or with you, you are our original meaning you are a local member. We have now some members who are not local, but you are a local member. You are the one who has visited the most clubs, most other clubs through these Zoom meetings. I'm wondering how did you come up with the idea to do that? What was your inspiration for that? And what is it that you learned from visiting other clubs and also giving speeches, or was it just one speech you gave? What was your
Several.
experience and what's your takeaway from visiting other clubs and something about that?
I can't personally claim to be very original. We had members, Toastmasters members from other clubs come to us, and several actually have joined our club. So seeing them do that and realizing what they've added to our club, it hit me that once I saw other people do it, I could do the same thing. And I started out just talking with them and getting the links to their clubs and going to their clubs meetings and, travel. I've been to New York, I've been to Alabama, New Zealand, Germany. And the main thing several things I found out. The best thing is, by and large, everywhere you go, Toastmasters are almost always friendly and inviting. And every meeting I went to, I felt that I was welcomed, that they appreciated having someone different come in and have a different opinion. And they were always great to be around. Giving speeches, that was actually a very interesting experience, because a lot of things I thought I learned here, getting comfortable with other people, as far as not talking so fast, as far as all the things I thought I was better at speaking. When I got in front of another club, even though it was virtual, I felt some of that same nervousness again. And I made some of those same mistakes I'd made in front of No Ka Oi, where I would speak too fast or maybe use a few too many ums. I found myself doing that again, just because even though I'm sitting in front of my computer screen, it was a different group of people. And even though I knew they were friendly, even though I knew it was a positive environment, I still had some of that original nervousness show up. So going through that again, I thought was a very good experience, because it wasn't just in front of the same people I'd been in front of 2 years. It was a whole new crowd that I had to give a speech in front of. I thought that was useful.
Now that we've talked about, something you think would be important to say about the whole Zoom experience or something about Toastmasters?
Yeah. I'm a big believer that everyone should at least try Toastmasters. I'm not going to say it's for everyone, but everyone should at least see if it's for them. And I think the same goes with Zoom. We've had some people that have shown up and just found they did not care for Zoom for whatever one reason or another. And those are all valid things, but just to actually show up and to try it, I think is a great thing and an important thing to find out, is it your thing? Because I promise we're a friendly group of people. We're going to welcome you. And if you decide it's not your thing, we understand. And if you do decide it's your thing, we'd love to have you.
Right. Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for agreeing to this idea and answering all the questions.
Well, thank you for hosting it, and thank you for doing it. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. Come, let me